Hey, welcome back to Chris Introvert Meditation Videos. I am super excited to be back here today with you, and we're going to share more knowledge. Thank you so much to the returning listeners. I super duper appreciate you. Remember, there's tons of videos that are on this channel, ranging from introversion, cognitive behavior, meditation videos, and obviously videos like this. We're going to be talking about the human experience, and one of my most favorite pastime things in the entire world is making a mountain out of a molehill. It's my favorite thing to do. Today we're going to be covering managing your fear and anxiety through decatastrophizing. And that's such an exotic word, I'm going to put it on the screen. Decatastrophizing. It has nothing to do with cats. Nothing to do with cats. It's all about drilling down on the problem just to figure out what is causing the actual problem. What is the stem of this problem? We have videos that come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every single week. You can also go to chicagointrovertartist.com to check out my blogs about introversion, and through there you can head on over to my Pinterest and see a whole bunch of memes and a bunch of things that I created for the Pinterest to keep myself entertained during this interesting time we've all been experiencing since 2020. But let us just hop, skip, and jump into this magnificent video. Can we have some sort of really ethereal background situation happening right about now? Thank you so much again for being a part of this video. So let's just get into the meat of this whole situation. Now, our imagination is a beast. It's a monster. It's not like Beauty and the Beast type, situations. It's something that we're creating in our head, and our imagination can turn the simplest things into a 4-alarm fire. And this tiny problem in reality will now have fangs and is a total wolf. It's not in sheep's clothing. It's totally a wolf. And I love being creative, don't get me wrong, but I do not want to advance my fears into something that they aren't and then deal with a greater problem. And that seems to be the bane of my existence, or is it bane? I don't know. I'm going to look it up and put it on the screen. Is it bane or is it vain? It's that. Okay, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So when we're scared and we aren't sure, when we are scared, we're not sure about what is happening on the other side of our problem. Only thing that we're thinking about is, I'm in a problem, I'm really uncomfortable, I don't like it, and I want to get out of here. How can I make this situation worse? Then you just start adding all this stuff into the soup. You start adding all this stuff onto the ice cream sundae, and you're making a mess. You're just making it 10 times worse, and we need to stop doing that. So using our creative influence and moving it to the next level to make something 20,000 times more worse actually is distracting us from reality. And that's not a great thing. And it's only because the reality that we are looking at seems frightening because we're not understanding what's going on, like what is going to happen. I have no idea. So then we start Nancy Drewing our life. We start murder, she-wroting it. And that's not what we need to be doing. By doing this, we are misusing a lot of energy that could actually be used to solve the problem. Ding, ding, ding. I mean, hello. So since we are legit Stephen Kinging our life, and I don't want to do that. I don't want you to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. But that's what I'm doing because I'm anticipating what is going on. I'm trying to get ahead of the problem by creating all of these problems, which just makes me super, super anxious. And I don't know about you, but I have experienced a lot of anxiety in my life, and it's mostly because I'm causing the anxiety because I'm not sure on what is going to happen. So let me just spend a couple of hours just ruminating on a whole bunch of things that actually won't happen at all. It's just such a waste of time mentally and physically. It makes you exhausted. So by the end of the day, you're just, I'm done. I can't. I've checked out. I'm out of here. By us magnifying issues and seeing them larger than they actually are in the rearview mirror, we're causing some major hiccups in our life. And in many instances, these fears are irrational. And in these cases that we're going to be talking about in a few minutes, we're going to be approaching irrational fears. By these patterns playing out in our life, they can be very exhausting because you're almost like Well, I expect bad things to happen, and I don't want to look forward to anything good happening, so I'm just gonna be like, whatever. So in these instances, we're going to learn how to play out the script and drill down on what is actually stoking our flames of fear. And naturally, when we are experiencing these issues in real time, sometimes it's hard to just stop, drop, and roll into these sorts of more constructive thought frames. So they're going to take some time for you to get used to, which is totally cool. But just knowing that there is a technique out there that you can utilize that just randomly pops into your head, you can start using it to your benefit. So that's what we're really going to be focusing on today. Just knowing that the tool is out there gives you some empowerment, which is a super great thing. So now we need to figure out, what are you fearful of? Talking to your boss, talking to your friend, a partner, even a perfect stranger. You can be totally freaked out by these things. And since you don't know how that other person is going to respond, that's when you start using your beautiful imagination to pull out the worst case scenarios. And by doing this, you're not really allowing yourself to experience what that situation actually is. You're not even really sure if that fear is justified or if it's irrational. And as stated, we're going to mostly cover the irrational fears. So this technique allows you to work through your anxiety to discover how much emphasis you can put on your problems that are actually happening in reality. So using certain questions to help you prompt your responses gives you the ability to work through things in a much more constructive way. And the questions are not even that hard. They're really just uncovering what's going on behind the scenes. So what are you afraid of? Okay, if that happened, how would you feel? And if that did happen, what would be so bad about that? So you're kind of just psyching yourself out, trying to figure out, why am I actually afraid of that? So let's say you want to talk to your partner about something. No. Let's do this one. This one's so much better. This one's better. Just erase the blackboard. Let's say you want to ask someone out on a date, and a lot of us get afraid of this and don't even do it because we're getting in our way before it even happens. So we don't want to be rejected because it's embarrassing. So why are you afraid of rejection? Because it will hurt my feelings, because I'll feel embarrassed, because they might think that I'm not cool. So what's so bad about that? Well, I want them to think that I'm cool. And what if they don't think you're cool? Well, then they won't want to go out with me. And what's so bad about that? I won't be able to go out with them. And what's so bad about you not going out with them? Well, because I want to get to know them. Why do you want to get to know them? Because I think that they're interesting. Well, why do you think that they're interesting? Because they do blah, 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 blah. So you're just going down this line of questions trying to discover what is the bread and butter of this situation. Or maybe I should say, what is the meat of the situation? That would be a lot better. But in that scenario there, if you keep drilling down, boiling down to the finest concentration of figuring out what's going on, I just don't want to be alone. You want to feel accepted by that person and by anyone that you fancy. That was an English slang. Being rejected is not a vibe. It doesn't make you feel great. But by you putting in these negative thoughts into the situation, you're already sort of causing the rejection. You're already getting ahead of the horse or the cart. You're already doing a lot of things that are not allowing you to have the outcome that you actually want to have. So in many instances like this, just go and just ask them and see what happens instead of, I know it's easier said than done, instead of just spending the time freaking out. You're wasting time and you don't deserve to do that to yourself. So whatever is happening in your life, get out there in front of it. It's going to save you a lot of time. It is not going to hurt you to be rejected by someone. It will emotionally hurt for a little bit, but it's not going to be the bane of your experience. The bane of your existence? Whatever. It's not going to turn you into a monster if you get rejected. You're going to be bummed. That's no fun. But you're going to find someone else that you like, and then that person is going to like you, and maybe that person's nervous to ask you out. I mean, who knows? If you got into a relationship with that person eventually down the line, just ask them. And if you look back in your life on a lot of the things that you freaked out about, were they that bad? And now these are irrational fears. Remember, irrational fears. These are fears that we have, and there's no reason for us to have them. Now, there are actual reasons for us to be afraid of those things, and this is not what this is about. This is about irrational fears. Let's say I can't even think of any more examples, but if you can think of some more examples, just drop them in the comments below and let us know how you overcame that irrational fear. How were you able to decatastrophize the situation to make it move in your benefit? Aha. So thank you so much for joining me on Chris Introvert meditation videos. Remember, we make videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can also go to chicagointrovertartist.com to read blogs about introversion and a whole bunch of other things. Thank you so much. Namaste. Bye.